Okay, we're starting a video here, and this is all about installing wall-mounted hand railing.
Okay, so obviously the first process is getting these rails in here. This is a really narrow staircase, and also we have really narrow hallways, which means there's no way we can take and get these in through the units and into these staircases without taking and cutting them in half. Also, there's no way, as you can see, we could take and turn the corner with that tight turn with these extra long rails. So we've taken and cut these rails in half, and then we've taken placed inside of these rails a slider, which you can see here. What that allows us to do is take and piece these two rails together without having to weld them together. The less welding we're doing inside a building over wood, obviously the better we are. So step one, you're gonna have to give me just a minute. I need it too, buddy. Okay. So step one, we're gonna take and meet these two rails together. You can see the insert. Where's my screw at? Oh, okay, I see what's going on. So what's going to happen is that we're going to take and slide this in here, and as I tighten this screw on the back of the rail, it's going to tighten up this insert. So let's see if it will go in here without loosening it up first. It won't. So I'll take and loosen it up before we get started here. So this is just an Allen head. We're going to take and loosen this up. And as we loosen it, I can feel this closing so that we have a smaller joint to fit in there. So it's a tight fit. Let me get down here lower so I got more leverage. So go ahead and twist. I'll twist the opposite way. But we're just going to keep twisting until we have that fully closed. There.
That's pretty close, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to twist a little more. And
yeah, I was going to say maybe go a little more if you can.
That's it.
That might be all you're going to get.
Okay, hold yours tight. Now I'm going to take and twist it so that these brackets are in line with each other. Like so. Now before we take and tighten up that Allen screw, we'll take and set it on the wall just to ensure that our wall brackets are all in line with each other. So let's go ahead and set it down, Lincoln. Okay, so hand me the lags and grab our sticks. Don't trade me hands. So Lincoln just laid out the 3/8 lags that we normally use to bolt this into the wall. So what I have here is, we call it a cheater stick. So our wall rail, when it's done and mounted to the wall here, needs to be at 36 inches. Now code allows us to have between 34 and 38 inches. But we don't like to go off that rule of thumb unless we have to, because if you set this one at 38 and you set this one at 34, you're going to have two wall rails that are 6 inches apart from each other, and it's going to look goofy. So we try to remain at 36 inches. So this tubing here is 1.5 inches. This cheat stick is 34.5. So you take this 34.5 and you add 1.5 inches, which is the thickness of that tubing. That gives you 36 inches. So, you want to take at the top, and you want to place your stick right at the edge of the top tread, like so. And then we're going to take and lift our rail up, and then twist it around, and set it on top of our tread stick. Now, one important thing to remember is from this transition right here to the end of this, you need to have 12 inches minimum. And it's almost, I mean, you can take and check and measure it, but these are bent in the shop at the 12 inches. So as long as this transition, as long as your stick's pushed tight into that transition and your stick is level, then you know you've got your 12 inches passed. You've got your 34.5-inch stick with 1.5 inches of rail, which is going to put the top of your rail at 36 inches. So,
start at the top, do the middle, then the bottom, because it'll flex out.
So we want this top to be level, but because we have a 2-piece rail, and really we need a third guy, I'm going to go ahead and put my bolt in, and as we lift up that center, it's going to level this out. So you don't need to pre-drill these. Hopefully there's backing, and you just take and screw your lag in. So I'm not going to tighten that up all the way, because we want this to flex, to level, once we lift up in the center. I will tighten it just a little more though, so that it will hold it. So now I'm going to take my stick down here to the center. I'm going to place it on the front of the tread, just like I did before, and I'm going to lift this up.
So why do we do it on the front of the tread?
We do it on the front of the tread because when your code guy comes through here, he's going to take and measure off the front of the tread. And that's where he's going to pull his 36 inches from. It's from the front of the tread to the top of the rail. So I have my tread stick on the front of the tread. It's nice and level. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to bolt the center up. Tightening, just nice and snug. You just want this plate to barely snug against the wall. You got to remember that you're drilling through probably 2 sheets of sheetrock, and so it will crush on you really easily if you tighten it too much. And if it crushes on you, it's going to take and make a crack all the way around this, which means you're going to have to come back in and putty it and paint it. So just nice and snug. Now I'm going to pass the impact off to Lincoln. He's got his tread stick right on the front of the tread, his cheat stick. He's got it nice and level, and he's going to go ahead and lag his in. Okay, good. Now if you come down here with the camera, and you take and look up that rail, because we used our cheat sticks, we know for a fact that that's nice and plumb. And you've got a nice straight line going up that wall. Now, even though we used our cheat sticks, we still always want to be just 100% certain. And it doesn't hurt to just take your tape and real quickly set it on the base of the tread and bring it up and level it. And if you see that number, we're like dead on 36, and that's where we want to be at.
So how far, what's the minimum distance that that railing is supposed to stick past the bottom noser of the bottom tread?
Okay, so another important point. If you remember, when we set our tread stick at top, right on the transition, that extended our rail the minimum of 12 inches past. And when I take and do my bolt first, before the guy does his bottom bolt, that ensures him that his rail, if it's been built right, will also hang past this tread the minimum of 12 inches. So if we were to take our stick and put the edge of it right there so that it's as level as we can get it, you see that? We're well over the 12, which is perfect. Code is 12 inches, right? Or is it 11?
12.
So we need to be the minimum of 12 inches past, and we're 13, so we're perfect.
And we usually build the railing a little long just for that reason.
Another thing to keep in mind too, why we go a little bit extra long, because they're gonna put padding and carpet on that stair. So that's gonna take and shrink our space another 1/2 inch to 3/8 of an inch, maybe even 3/4. So we're perfect where we're at right now. And then to take and finish, Lincoln's just gonna take and finish putting the rest of the bolts in. So we're gonna go up here to the top and just make sure that our rail leveled out on top when we lift it up that center. And we're super, super close. Now, if you're not dead on, you just visually want to get back and take a look at it, and we look like we're pretty level. So we're going to call that good. When we're doing this longer rails, sometimes it's difficult to get it dead on. So you just want to try to get it as close as possible. And if you can visually look at it and see that you're looking good, then you're good to just call that okay.
So now what if we hit no backing?
Okay, so if we hit no backing, then that's a whole nother process. You basically have to take and undo all your bolts. You have to remove the rail and set it back down. And whatever holes that you didn't hit backing in, you'll take your hammer drill and you'll take and put a 5/8 or bigger bit in it. And you'll take and stick it in the hole where you didn't hit backing, and you'll just kind of ream it out a little bit so that you have a hole that's about 1 inch big. And then you're going to take what's called a butterfly. And you take and insert your butterfly, and you'll take, it's a zip tie butterfly, you'll take and pull it tight, and then you'll have to use a different bolt that threads into that butterfly. And then you can take and rehang your rail, stick your butterfly bolt in, and it will work just the same as a lag, and it will pull tight. The butterfly bolt will take and cinch behind this sheetrock and pull tight against it as you're screwing in the bolt.
So I want to say too, as a side note, that if there was only one layer of drywall, that we can't do this because it will rip the sheetrock out.
Correct.
So it has to be double wall, or they have to come back through, cut it out, and put a piece of backing in there. Okay, I think that concludes our video for wall rail install.